Because in other examination questions are asked directly from the syllabus. What is given in the topic in the syllabus, the question asked directly. But in UPSC examination, hello, very good evening. This is Mohammed Shahbaz Khan. I am here to discuss about the sociology. Sociology as optional. Sociology as optional to score high in this examination, to get you succeed in this examination and to acquire a good rank in this examination. So before starting how sociology as optional, why we should choose sociology as optional, I have to give a brief about what is sociology. Sociology is all about scientific study of collective living, in a brief. In other words, if I say sociology is the scientific study of social interaction, institution, social behavior in a society. This is sociology. Now, there are many questions crop up in the mind of the students with regard to optional, which optional one should go. For example, there are many anthropologies, history, political science, there are many options. Why one should choose sociology? So there are certain parameters on the basis of a student should choose optional. Before stating how sociology as an optional, how much and what it offers as optional, I would discuss how a student should go to choose an optional. There are certain parameters. First of all, first parameter, that subject should be easy, comprehensible. One can easily understand what is it. There shouldn't be a rocket science. I mean, for example, you have chosen a certain subject which has a very large syllabus. You spent almost 1.5 years to complete only your optional syllabus. But how much optional offer you in this examination, in this scheme? 500 marks. The rest is your GS. So here the balance bit distort. So while choosing an option, the student should keep in mind this aspect, that the subject should be easy to comprehend, should be short enough, syllabus should be short so that it could be completed in the meantime. For example, if you cleared your prelims, after prelims you have a 3 months, 3.5 or 4 months time. In these times you can complete the whole syllabus 3 to 4 times. That is the mere idea. Again, second parameter, there must be enough guidance available in the market, I would say, in your surrounding, in your neighbor, so that you can get the study materials, the guidance, mentorship for this examination. Because this is an examination, we have to keep in mind. We are not here to become a scholar. This is very clear. You have to be clear in your mind. You are not here for becoming a scholar. For the UPSC wants a sociologist, they will get it from many of these reputed universities while they choose you. So, on second parameter, that guidance, mentorship or the study material should be available ample in the market. Fourth parameter, that optional, that particular subject should also help you in other areas, of the GS. Exactly, so that cumulatively I would say, if you have an optional, for example, sociology, it can help you in a paper 1, social issues, paper 2, social justice, in an essay, and ethics, and overall personality development. It helps you a lot. You have a lot to tell on any of the social phenomena. In fact, many of this question could be asked in an interview round from your social life, because we are the social being. Again, the fourth parameter on the basis of which one should go for the optional, certain optional, that is how much that particular subject is scoring in the recent time. There are many subjects I won't name. They are really in this time in last 4 to 5 years, they are not doing it's very great. The students are doing lots of hard work, but in terms of outcome they are not getting much marks. In fact, the student is stuck to the 200, 220, that is more than enough. So there are these are the certain parameters on the basis of which the students should choose optional. Okay. Now, how sociology could be a good optional? What it offers on these parameters? Okay. Now, I would talk about the syllabus of the sociology. The syllabus of the sociology is very comprehensible one. What I told you when I give the definition of this sociology, this is a scientific study of the social interaction, the social life institution. We all are the social being. Human is a social animal. We have not evolved as in isolation. We have evolved in a surrounding with the people around it. We have played multiple role in a society. So we have like multiple interaction with the member of the society. So optional is a syllabus is very comprehensible. You can easily connect with this phenomena, easily any social phenomena. Syllabus is short. I would say how the syllabus is short. The paper first can be easily applied on paper 2. It looks is very large syllabus, is very hectic one, but on reality the syllabus is very short. For example, if you study stratification system in a paper 1, that same stratification system could be studied in a paper 2 in a particular context, which is in the context of Indian society. Again, if you studies power and authority, there are multiple thinkers in that, you study that, and that power and authority could be studied in a paper 2 in Indian society. These are applicable. This could be the theories of paper 1 could be applied in paper 2. On cumulatively, I would say at the very core, the syllabus become very short. It is easy, it is comprehensible. There is nothing rocket science, nothing like rocket science. You can't. Any of these persons coming from any walk of life, be it from engineering, be it from arts background, from any commerce background, from any background, that person can excel in the topics of the syllabus. There is no rocket science. You can easily, this is my word, take my words, this is very easy. In fact, you can easily get into what is sociology, what are the topics. Again, in terms of comprehensibility, these subjects offer you lot. How? Comprehensible, it means samajh, this understanding of this subject matter. It enhances in sociology because you are a social being, your life is also connected with your surrounding. You are experiencing the same thing. For example, you are studying caste system, you are also part of a caste hierarchy, you are the part of a caste system. You are a part of society where your identity somehow defines your social behavior, and here you can easily connect with your surrounding. For example, in a social living, for example, one of your friends is going to get married very soon. He is getting into this intercaste marriages. Intercaste marriages in India is an issue. Still there is an issue with this. Caste rigidities is there. You can really feel that what is happening around you. You go into the marriage. There are many in a chapter of sociology, family marriage and concept. The forms of marriages is given. you can easily connect with them. And when there is a when you can easily connect with the subject, it is easy to remember them. But it is very important, the subject should be comprehensible enough so that you can remember it. When you can remember, you can produce it efficiently on examination, on the day of judgment. So this subject offers you a lot in terms of comprehensibility. You can easily connect with your surrounding, anything related to family, marriage, can say. For example, elections is happening, general election is going to take place, going to held. You can easily connect with that. That can be connected, that can be given in your syllabus of sociology. In a power, bureaucracy, citizenship, nationalism, many of these issues. Mobility, if you study the stratification system, stratification, societies are stratified. There is a layer. I mean, one group of person, one community is one above the others. There are layers on the basis of some parameters. You might be part of that. You might be one of them. So you can easily connect with this. You can see the mobility. For example, in your surrounding, in your neighborhood, there is a chai wala, used to sell chai. His son cracked this examination, IAS examination. So what is it? This is example of mobility. Mobility is a chapter, stratification, mobility, and this is an example of vertical mobility. It means that persons increase its status, it increases economic status from here to this, they become an IAS officer. So anything's happening surrounding you, this is all part of your life, and this is very easy to connect with this syllabus of sociology. So when you can make connection with this, subjects become easy. And this is a very famous saying in this examination. When you become this very ready-made material for this examination, when your knowledge become the wisdom. There is a two part of this examination. First is knowledge, another is wisdom. Knowledge is what was given in your syllabus, you complete it, you make it notes, you take the lectures, you go through the syllabus whole, GS and this optional. But the demand of this UPSC examinations is a bit different from different examination. This examination is called the mains examination, MEN examination, and all other examination called the boys examination. Why? Because in other examination, questions are asked directly from the syllabus. What is given in the topic in the syllabus, the question asked directly. But in UPSC examination, the questions are not asked directly. Here the questions are applied in nature. This indirect in nature. They could be connected with some other phenomena. For example, GS1 paper could be connected with the GS2. Disaster could be connected with the geography. Social issue connected with the economics. Ethics could be connected with the governance. In the same manner, in UPSC, in this exam for this sociology paper, for the sociology as optional, the questions are asked in an applied manner, in indirect manner. Question are direct, question are not asked directly. So what I said, this part consists of two aspects, that is knowledge and the wisdom. When you become this ready-made material for this examination, for getting selection or getting call from this UPSC for the interview round, when this knowledge becomes wisdom, and wisdom is what? This application of knowledge, where you can make interlinkages across this topic of the syllabus, from GS1 to GS2, from GS2 to GS3, from optional to GS, from GS to optional. This is like you have to be applicable, and you should make connection with the different topics of the syllabus. You can make connection, and here sociology offers a lot. You can really connect the topics, the academics, jargons which is used in the sociology with your social life. So here sociology offers you a lot. Again, what I said you, one should choose optional on the basis of its cumulative effect. It means कि a particular subject as optional offer you, give you opportunity scores marks out of 500, but cumulatively it can be helpful in other subject also. Here sociology, if you score 250, 270, 280, it's easy to score in sociology if you score these marks, but cumulatively you can fetch marks from different subjects by the help of the knowledge of a sociology. For example, you have a direct help in a GS paper, that is GS1 Indian Society, social issues. Paper 2 social justice. Again, if you see, if you look at this essay paper for the last 10 years, you would find that one of the essays has been asked from social issues, from any women issues, from any of this phenomena that is socially relevant. So you have a more words to write on an essay than other student who has opted for other optional subject. You have a more words to write on, you have a more words to talk on any of this issue. So cumulatively it can offer you lot. It can also help you in ethics. And ethics, it studies many of the thinkers, ethics, norms, values. Here sociology, which studies this the same phenomena. So here it can offer you lot. So sociology can help you in GS1, GS2, ethics. And again, if you are the student of the sociology, I must say you have a lot to tell on any of the social phenomena, because you are becoming, you are preparing for examination where you will become an IAS officer, you will be at the helm of the affairs. Therefore, you have to manage this public affair, and this is nothing but social interaction in a society. You have to manage it, you have to make the policy, you have to just the social, I would say, the feedback, you have to take the feedback. You should know, you should be knowing what is there. So it can be helpful in interview round also. It can give you a different perspective regarding any of this phenomena in our society, be it nationalism, bureaucracy, any of the citizenship, power and authority, stratification system, marriage, family, kinship, caste system, work life, anything, everything in fact can be connected with the sociology. So here you can score. Again, what I said you, there is enough material, enough guidance available in the market. So sociology is a good option. Again, I said you last parameter where you can judge that particular subject should be chosen as optional. The ultimate criteria is how it is scoring, how it is scoring, how the student is scoring this particular subject. If you take the data of the recent times, you can see in the recent 4 to 5 years, you can see many of the toppers from sociology. The success rate is more than 10%. Srishti Deshmukh, you know this, she ranked 5 in 2018. Her options was sociology. Jagrati Avasthi, 2020, she scored rank 2 in this examination. So sociology is a very good scoring subject, and this is scoring well throughout these years. So on these parameters, if I say, does sociology fits into these parameters? I would say yes. Sociology is a very good option which offers you a lot in terms of getting selection in this examination. Again, now this was a very brief. We'll later discuss what is sociology, how is syllabus, and we'll discuss everything in a later lecture. Now, I would like to give a glimpse of this sociology. This would be like jumping in between, but I won't discuss a small topic so that you can generate interest in these papers, sociology. Now, I am going to discuss suicide. Do you know what is suicide? Everybody must be knowing what is suicide, because now and then such phenomena is happening in our societies. There are many students among you who might have seen this in your surrounding. This might be some of your friends have committed suicide. We have many of this thinking in our mind, why a person suicide. Somebody says he couldn't cope up with this examination. Somebody says he was like very much this alienated from society. He was dejected from the social life. He got into this. He committed suicide. Many of the time, some person felt some stigma, and he doesn't have this tolerance to face that situation. That person commits suicide. There are many things. Somebody says that person couldn't handle this mental pressure. Somebody has taken loan. The loan persons, the bank walas, they are harassing that person. That person couldn't handle this pressure and he committed suicide. You have seen the suicide in your surrounding recently. Sushant Singh Rajput, you have seen this case of Sushant Singh Rajput. That person committed suicide. In a Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, the many farmers commit suicide, and the farmer suicide is a very burning issue in India now, and it has been a burning issue for the last many of these years. The suicide, the humans are committing suicide. There are multiple theories of it. Now I am giving you the sociological perspective about the suicide. So it's a very brief discussion about the suicide, and this theory of suicide which I am going to discuss is given by Emile Durkheim. This is a thinker. This is thinker part. We will discuss later on. We will study this. We will have a discussion on this thinker Emile Durkheim. This is very. It will be a very comprehensive discussion. It's a very long discussion, but this is a brief. I am giving you a glimpse of this. How interesting this subject is. So now I am giving you the sociological perspective of the society. What is suicide is. Now let me tell you first of all the thinker who gave this theory. The name of the thinker is Emile Durkheim. This person is also called the first professor of the sociology. The person has an immense contribution to establish sociology as an academic discipline. It means he established sociology as academic discipline in a university. But this person, Emile Durkheim, is called the first professor of the sociology. He has contributed a lot in the development of this subject. The person is born in France. He was a Jew. So he has a very strong community. Saying Jews are very strong, very strong minority community world over. That person, that Emile Durkheim, was living in France. So they are very and you can see this phenomena, this minority group. They have very this fierce psychosis phenomena. They are very strongly connected with their community. The same with this happened with Emile Durkheim. It is often said in sociology, any idea is a product of its background. So that person has an imprint of this. He always keeps society above all this individual phenomena. He always keeps society above individual. Okay. Now, according to the Durkheim, what is suicide? Suicide is all cases of death resulting directly or indirectly from the positive and negative act of the victim himself. If the victim knows that particular act will result into the death of that person. This is a very strong thing. In fact, you know that I am going to die. If I take this action, still that person is due. Because what is very valuable? Your life. Nothing is valuable than this. If I say in a word, if I say in the perspective. So he says, what I said you, all cases of death resulting directly or indirectly from the positive and negative act of the victim, where he knows that action will produce this result, this outcome. Here the positive and negative, the Durkheim says the positive act doing something in order to die. That means you cut your vein, you cut your throat, you do something to die, you take a pill, something, some sedative in order to die. What does he means by the negative act? The negative act means the act of omission. The positive act of commission. It means you do something in order to die. Positive act. And what is negative act? Act of omission, doing nothing in order to die. For example, you relinquish all food, all kind of things which makes you a living. आप सब छोड़ देते हो, खाना पीना एवरीथिंग, कि मुझे मरना ही वन डे. Slowly, gradually, you go into the mouth of death. That is an act of omission. In other words, I would say, कि what is suicide? This is an act of self-destruction where the victim knows this action will produce the result. Again, that Durkheim, what is new in this? The very new in this, the very first time, there were many theories of the suicide before this. Psychological theories, racial theories, imitation theories, many of the things was there. But for the very first time, Durkheim gave this sociological theory of the suicide. He says the society is involved behind this suicide. It means a person committed suicide in a society. Society is involved. That person is not responsible for that. Society is responsible. That is very, the unique thing. It's very unique thing. If I say, it's very strange. How society is involved here? Come on. This is your life. Nothing, might be somebody has caused you, somebody has pressurized you, but nobody's told you to go and commit suicide, because it's your life, you have to decide. If I would say go and commit suicide, you will do? No. But the person says the society is involved in this suicide. Again, for the very first time, in terms of contribution of sociology as a subject, Durkheim, Emile Durkheim, has clubbed research work and theory building together. Research work, it means for this suicide, in order to analyze this phenomena, he collected more than 20,000 cases of suicide from different society, from different European society. In that time, he saw, in that particular context, in that time, there was a rise in the cases of suicide in European society. So he was overwhelmed. He was very much concerned. Why there is a rise in suicide? So he started studying, and while studying, he gave this theory. So for the first time, he gave this. He clubbed this research building, theory building, and the research work together. For this, he collected data. After collection of data, he categorized the data on the basis of, say, age, sex, occupation, and after analyzing, he says society is involved in this. Society is involved in the suicide. He says in all the society is always there. Society has always remained there. He terms this as social rate of the society. But if anything unusual takes place in the society, this rate of suicide goes up and down. It means increases or decreases. So he was studying this. He says there is one phenomenon is behind this increase or behind this suicide. That is suicidogenic current. What I say? Suicidogenic current. He says in a society, there is a thing called suicidogenic current which is involved in the phenomena of suicide. Suicidogenic is what? Suicidogenic current is a what? Suicidogenic current is an example of social fact. And social fact, according to the Durkheim, is a subject matter of the sociology. Okay, I won't go too deep because this will stretch, but I'm discussing in a very brief. So again, further I say, before stretching it, without stretching it, suicidogenic current he says there are two types of societogenic current. One is integration, another one is regulation. Integration is what? Integration, the degree of closeness. Here the person, individual, seems very connected with the society. Degree of closeness, that is integration. And regulation, the kind of social constraint, the kind of control over the individual action, that is called regulation, that societies imposes through different norms and values. There are many instruments of it. Okay. So there are two types of societogenic current, integration and regulation. He further says, when there is a high regulation, then there is a high integration, there is also society, there is a rise in the society. When there is a low integration in the society, there is also increases in the case of society. Again he says, when there is high regulation in the society, it also leads to the high rate of society, and when there is a less regulation in the society, it also lead to a high rate of suicide in a society. How? Again, he further says, on the basis of it, integration, and thus he says, when there is a high, let me explain it on the board. What I said you, there are two kind of societogenic current, regulation and integration. When there is a high regulation, there is a high rate of society. When there is a less regulation, is also lead to increase in the society. When there is a high integration, it leads to the increase in society. When there is a less integration, it also lead to a increase in the society. So this is integration. And other is regulation. What I said, when there is a high integration, it means there is a very high closeness, in group feeling, you feel very much connected with the society, it also leads to a rise in the society. When there is a high integration, he terms it as altruistic kind of society. Altruistic kind of society. When there is a less regulation, it leads to egoistic kind of society. He further categorize this into three. He says it is obligatory. I would explain it one by one. Optional and acute. When there is a high regulation, this leads to the fatalistic kind of society. When there is a less regulation, it's to anomic kind of society. I'll explain it one by one. What I said you, integration, when there is high integration, that leads to altruistic kind. So this is also three types. One is obligatory. Obligatory here, the group compels the individual to commit suicide to show the solidarity with the group. For example, the phenomena you can observe, the phenomena of sati. When the husband of that particular lady dies, the society compels that lady to commit a suicide in order to show the solidarity. That falls in the category of obligatory kind of society. This is another example is harakari, the Japanese warrior. When they are defeated in the battlefield, the group compel that defeated person to commit a sin in order to show the solidarity. That falls in this obligatory. In optional kind of society, here the group praises the suicide but doesn't compel an individual to commit a suicide. This is option lies with the individual to commit or not. For example, all the terrorists are not suicide bomber. It is the choice of the individual, choice of the terrorist to become a suicide bomber. That falls into the optional. Again is acute. Here the individual commits suicide in order to feel the joy of after death. For example, you can see phenomena of Cavalier in a Jaina. They commit suicide, and these are all example of what? Has the person feel connected or has a closeness with this group. So this is example of altruistic. There are three types. Again, egoistic types of suicide. Here the individual values clashes with the societal values. The societal value is different, individual value is different. So societies prohibit intercaste marriage, but you want to do that thing. Society is not allowing you to do something. Society is not allowing to do which you want to do. There are certain classes with this value. This is an example of, in many of the times you can see this, many of the scholar, many of this very intellectual person commit suicide because their view doesn't match with the view of the society. In order to assert his supremacy, that person commit suicide. That falls into this category of egoistic. Again, what I said, what Durkheim said, regulation. When there is a high regulation, this lead to fatalistic kind of suicide. Fatalistic. It means here the regulation is very high. Society has a very high regulation through different social control, through different values, norms, anything. Here the individual aspiration or ambition is crushed under the weight of the society. You cannot become a deviant. The moment you become a deviant, you are the dead. You can see the many of this example. For example, in a slave society, the life of the slaves used to be very miserable. They were not having any civic liberty. They were not having any of this right which you observe right now. You have a fundamental, you have many of this right. But at that time, they were not having any right. Their life was akin to almost the living of an animal. In that society, the slave commit a suicide. That falls in the category of fatalistic kind of society. Another example of Bengal widows during this 17th and 18th century, before this Renaissance, when the husband of particular ladies dies, the society makes the life of that particular lady miserable. In that cases, many of the say that person, that lady is not allowed outside the home. He cannot go to the market. She cannot study. She cannot go to the market. She can't do many of this activity which is very normal in the society. So such an example of fatalistic kind of society. Here the regulation is very high. An individual cannot breathe. Again, when there is a regulation is very low. The theme term is anomic kind of society. Anomic or the anomy, the literal means, it means that lawlessness. And it happens when there is a lack of a central authority, where the individual aspiration, action cannot be guided. There is no central authority. Many of the society, for example, the society which is going through the political upheaval, going through economic boost or burn, there is no central authority, there is no norms, there is no nothing, there is no law in the society which can guide the individual behavior. In that particular, for example, Syria, in the Middle East, many of the society, you don't have any reason to live because there is no central authority. जिसका जो मन चाह कर रहा है वो कर रहा है. You can't have this liberty. You can't do anything because of this lawlessness. Anomy, lawlessness. When it happens, when the society is going through this transition phase means the political upheaval, the political transition. You can observe it in many of the society. In many of this country, you can see this. So here, the anomic kind of society is. So friends, this was a brief of what Durkheim says about the society. And again, on this basis of this collected data, after analyzing it, he says The educated persons commit more suicide than illiterate. Unmarried person commit more suicide than married men. Men commit more suicide than women. This was the finding of that study, and this is the third major work of the sociology. Third major work of Durkheim. Sorry, this is the third major work of Durkheim. Okay, so this was a brief of this suicide. Here the what I said you. Here the Durkheim has kept society all above other phenomena. Here the society is supreme. All the phenomena can be explained. This key society is involved. There are many criticism of it. We will discuss it later on. So it was a brief of society. So it's very wonderful. In fact, if you come to know that this could be happen because of the society can happen. The society because of this. Because of the society is involved in this. Many of the society can be explained through this, the theory of the Durkheim. In many of the society, what I said, when the society goes through this transition phase, in economic bust, economic booms, you can see this person commits suicide. The rate of suicide increases and decreases. You can observe in this, recently the group of students preparing for the particular examination, they used to commit the suicide. A particular group committed suicide, farmers committed suicide. Many of the suicide can be explained through the theory of Durkheim. This is a very interesting one. So, at the last, I would say the subjects offers you lots in terms of its comprehensibility, the size of the syllabus, its cumulative effect in terms of the scoring, or its interconnection with a different subject, where you can fetch marks not in sociology, also in a different subjects with the knowledge of it. So also in terms of this scoring, this is also scoring easily. This is a sociology is a social science. The only thing is this examination. This examination is a subjective kind of. This is very subjective kind of paper. You have to bring the objectivity. This is the only challenge, is this sociology paper. What happens? The students, what I said, you come on, go and read the marks. Read the mode of production of the marks. That person's go, that students go, he studies the whole 400 pages books, and after spending 1 to 2 days, 3 days on that book, he comes and says, sir, I have studied everything. And then I say, come on, define marks in 3 words. He talks lot, he beat around the bush, he says everything, sir, marks was this, marks was that. But what I said, what is, define this, what is marks, what is mode of, he is unable to tell you. So, here the subjectivity is there. The objectivity is missing in this paper. So, here you have to work on the objectivity. The rest, this subject is very easy, comprehensible and easy to remember. You don't need to give much labor to remember this subject. If you have a group of sociology students, they have like-minded and you can discuss it. It's very interesting, it's become very interesting. The moment you study this, you go out of the class, you can see these things moving around you. This is a very visible paper. So again, this is a very good option. So we will discuss later on. Thank you.